Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this past week's trades and the weekly recap. Before I get into the video, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please subscribe to the channel and like the video if you haven't done so already. I did finish the week with 31 wins, 4 losses for a win rate of 88.57%. So I did exceed my goal of 80% per week. So that is definitely a plus. 2 of the 4 losses were overnight plays I probably should have never taken, but I've been kind of like taking overnight plays here and there and just for fun. But when you take overnight plays, you got to play them very, very, very small because anything can happen. Futures is usually very, very manipulated, and news can drop at any time and change it because we've seen so many times the market be down so much, and by the time it opens up that it's flat or green or vice versa, or it gaps up quite a bit. And half an hour or an hour before open, news drops or something happens and it ends up coming out flat or red. So the market is very, very heavily manipulated overnight. Anything being held overnight is just very, very risky. So just when you play overnight plays, you got to take that into account. Play very, very tiny. Yeah, the 2 losses look like a lot when you're buying them at $10 or $15 per contract, but when you're only buying 1 or 2, that's nothing. That's completely nothing to me. So and I always go into the overnight plays thinking that they can go to 0 just like anything else. So yeah, that's how you get to play overnight plays. If you don't want to take the risk, you don't want to play them, then don't play them. Just because what I'm doing and what I'm trading doesn't mean you have to. You need to find your own what you like and what you want to do, and not blindly follow me. I have a lot more experience and I have a lot more cushion to do the crazy things that I do, so I got to keep that in mind. If you don't have the cushion and you don't want to take reckless plays, I would not do overnight ones then. So yeah, maybe once in a while I get really, really lucky, but literally overnight it is luck or gambling. So with that said, we'll go over the trades. Now I go on my Twitter, you can see the timestamps. Monday, when I say for the trade at newsroom on Monday, let's see, just make sure everything's recording right. Sometimes I start recording and the microphone's muted, so I've done that quite a bit. Everything working okay now. Monday was what, the 8th? Yep. Since SPY puts under 415 and Amazon calls about 142. Speaking of overnight plays, I did take one for the weekend. I think I took it for after the Pelosi visit. I thought maybe China would do something crazy over the weekend, and I just wanted some puts just in case. And here is Friday right here into Monday. I took let's see, 41.20 puts at $9.70. So I can't even see the timestamp on that. I mean, obviously I took it Friday. Let's see, 142. I took it really early. 142, right here. 142. I took it right here. I probably should have sold it. Did I sell some of that? Let me just see if I sold some of that on Friday the 5th. Where are you? Can't get the timestamp to show up. What the hell? No, I didn't. I'm trying to figure out what I did on Friday. It just, no, I didn't. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, Yeah, I got them at what, 990. Got them. I should have sold some in here. I don't know why I didn't, but whatever. It is what it is. So yeah, I should have sold some right in there, but yeah, I held them just in case China did something kind of crazy, and they didn't do anything crazy. So yeah, I gapped up quite a bit. So let's see. I took Amazon calls at 9:43. I cannot type right today. Already studying. Really slow. Okay, the 5th, the 8th right there. So 9:43, first Timothy candle formed. I grabbed it. I grabbed the 143 calls at 310, and they went from 310 to 335. It did break out to end up being a fake out, and then lock it dumped the rest of the day. Then I switched to SPX puts at 1029. Let's see. This Monday right here, yep. 1029, where are you? Right in this candle right here. 1142. 1124, I mean, try to see the expiry here. Yeah, okay, I grabbed it here. I grabbed the 4170 puts at 840, and they went from 840 to 930. So I probably sold right in here. Now, as you can see, these candles are kind of grouping up together. Now, I start looking at this when I see like these topping candles. Usually, I wait for a couple of them to form, and when they do, I usually take this breakdown of underneath 41670. We'll say 75, and once it breaks that, that's where I end up taking it. So whenever you see these little cluster of candles grouping together and consolidating, I look for a little breakdown of it. And we got a little bit of a play right there. Then I end up waiting and grabbing puts again at 1124, which is right here. Down here I grabbed it. I'm not quite sure why. This could have been news or something. This definitely looks like something happened news-wise, because this is a pretty big red candles right here. So I probably should have grabbed it right here for 1630, but if it was news, it happened pretty fast. I probably waited for it to come up a little bit. You can see how the wick is right here. I waited probably for a rebound. So I grabbed, let's see, 4160 puts at 670. And they went from 670 to 1930 in that dump right there, right down to the 200 EMA, and it started the bounce. So, in fact, I grabbed calls at 1144, which is right in this candle, right anticipating the 200 EMA bounce. I did grab, let's see, 4150 calls. At 1144, yeah, right here, right at the 200 EMA, 1144. Yeah, we're down. I probably got it closer to down here. Now we also got Friday support right here. We mean resistance for Friday, which is now support on Monday. 200 EMA, sharp knife. I mean, to me that looked like a good area to grab calls, and I did. And those 4150 calls I got at $9 went from $9 to $15.50 in that pop right there. Then I ended up buying 4140 calls at $12.37, which is right $12.37 right here. I probably got it when it was coming up. So you got the drops right here. You get this candle here and candle here. And when I got over these candles, I probably got it closer to probably 413.35. I grabbed the 4140 calls at 780. And you got a little bit of a push. And they went from what, 780 to 1340 in that push right there. So it doesn't take much to move SPY. I mean, SPX, especially if you're buying at the money. Then I ended up taking, the first loss obviously was the overnight loss, and this is my second loss for the day on Monday. I took 4150 calls at 156, which is right here. I see why I took it here. You get this drop, we got it right here. The push rejected the 200 EMA, close to the 20 EMA, which is the blue line. Purple line is 200. It dropped back down. It quickly came right back up to the 2 moving averages again, and I thought for sure it was going to pop. It was going to push to 415 probably, and it didn't. It rejected right away. Then I ended up averaging down at 221, which is right down here. Right here at the double bottom, thinking, okay, it's going to push here, and it didn't. I added more, $2 and making my new average 270. So it dumped right here. So I cut it. I had a little bit of size on it, so I did end up cutting it. I cut it at 150. So then it ended up popping here right after I cut it. I don't know if they actually went green or not. I don't really remember. I don't think they did. If I remember correctly, I don't think they did. I think they came close, but I don't think they did. Then I ended up grabbing calls at 251, which is right 251. Where's 251? Oh, this is 251. Okay, so I added right here. Then I cut it. And when I cut it, I went into the closer at the money. I do remember doing this. Because I was too far out of the money, and I should have never added. To be honest, I should have never added to that position. Sometimes I just like to add, try to get out green, and not have to take a loss. And sometimes that burns me, and in this case, it did. But when it did have a knee-jerk reaction of breaking lower day, I was anticipating it being a fake out. In this case, it was. So. This time I grabbed the 41.35 calls at 510, definitely closer to the money, and then it did pop, and it went from 510 to 730. So I don't think the other ones I had 41.50 calls or went to 270 to go green, but I should have never added. I should have just went with a closer at the money, but it is what it is. Sometimes you make mistakes. That's part of trading. No matter how experienced you are, or know how good you are. And just sometimes you just make a bad decision here and there. It's part of the game, so you just gotta learn to deal with it and overcome it. So Monday, yeah, I took 6 wins, 2 losses. One of the losses was overnight, so technically at that, if I didn't take the overnight, I wouldn't have been a loss. So it just shows you how taking overnight plays can burn you. Tuesday, a very, very, very choppy day. Let's see, Trade Ideas Room on Tuesday. I said. SPY puts under 411.50 and Amazon calls over 139. I took I took SPX puts at 952, which is right here. As you can see, 415 is this level. What? Not 415, 411.50. Sorry, which is right here. I like to round up or down to the nearest 50 cent or whole dollar to make it easy to remember. Get the first 10-minute candle I let form. Second 10-minute candle is in the middle. It's inside candle. I didn't do anything, and then it finally broke down below the 10-minute candle. First 10-minute candle, that's where I took the 41.10 puts at 6.90, and they went from 6.90 to $9 in that drop. So that was a nice clean play. Then I got puts again at 1101, which is what, right here? No, right down here. 1101. No, it's this candle right here, right? Went up to 20 EMA. It rejected and it came back down. I did get the drop right here underneath lower day of 410.90. Got the 41.10 puts again at 680. Oh, it looks like I reloaded up here. Yeah, it looks like I reloaded more up here because I got it at $6.80, lower than the first one. So yeah, I probably got it right in here somewhere around the 411.40ish, and I can see why I grabbed it there. Get these bunch of candles right here, and it broke below it, so I grabbed it in this one. 41.10 puts, $6.80 went to 9.20, and that red candle right there. Then this red candle, after you made new lower day, it quickly got rebought. And then I ended up buying calls at what, 11.17. Which was actually right in here. So yeah, I got it here. There's two really quick trades. Got it, the puts here, and it dropped a new lower day. That's where I dumped it. You get this quick green candle right here, and I think I bought it right over the 412 area right in here, because these are all these candles right here. You can see where they were like rejecting, and when it had a quick bounce back, I mean, this was a quick rebound. So I grabbed it thinking we were going to get a strong push. Which we didn't. It was a kind of a fake out, but I had the 41.35 calls at 6.50, and they went from 6.50 to $9. $9 seems to be a pretty big number. $6 and $9 this day. Everything's been buying everything around $6. And some around $9. I've been going to about $9. So, yeah, that push right there. I'm not quite sure where I actually got it. I probably got it right in here. So, yeah. That was a nice little push. Very quick two plays right there within a few minutes of each other, 20 minutes of each other. Then I didn't do anything for the rest of the day till 2:52, which is right here. I grabbed, let's see, 41.20 calls at 6.10. 252, which is this candle right here. I can see why I grabbed it here. It's not been really breaking below lower day. It's been hovering around the 410.50 area. It's been bouncing. Anytime it gets below it, it quickly gets bought. So it bounced here, a few times, in here, and tried to break down. It didn't. It came back up, and right when it came up to towards VWAP or into VWAP is where I got the calls. Dropped a little bit, then it popped through. So they went from $6.10 to $8. So I can definitely see why I got it here, thinking that we were going to get an end of the day push, and we didn't. So this day, not much really happened. It stayed within a $2 range, so which is pretty crazy considering what's been happening. Let's see. Did I take an overnight play on this one? I think I did. Yeah, I did. I took puts overnight at 342. 342, which is this candle right here. I took 4,100 puts at 1570, and I'm almost certain I sold some of them. I think I went in with a few more than I normally do, and I think I sold some before or after hours. Yeah, I did. I sold some at 17. So glad I did, because look at this monster candle. I don't remember what this was. I'll have to actually look back. I think it was CPI numbers or something like that. When inflation was, let me go back. What was it? Yeah, it was CPI numbers. The numbers weren't that good. They were month to month. They weren't, but year to year, I guess it looked a little better. I don't remember what the. But anyways, the market liked it. The market popped. So yeah, it is what it is. So another loss I took that I didn't need to play overnight plays. I mean, I don't normally play overnight. I've been doing them just like I said earlier in the video, that just for fun. So trade areas room, I said. Let's see. What day is this? Is this 10th? Yeah, 10th. SPY calls over 419. 419, yeah, 419, which is pre-market high. You know, you just, with this massive pop, usually when you have these massive pops, they end up fading. And but with inflation, the market liking the inflation numbers, that it's kind of like flattening or going down slightly, that the market's going to take that as good news. And that's the kind of good news, that the market will gap up huge and continuing to rip, and it did do that. So at let's see, 946, which is right here. I'm not quite sure where I got it. I got the 412.10, the 42.10 calls at 770, and it went from 770 to 850. I think I probably bought it a little earlier, anticipating the break. And the market lately is just haven't been, especially because it's been doing this on Tuesday, staying in the choppy range. So when you get 50 cents to $1, you need to take it. The market just is not letting you have big plays, especially after Tuesday. So yeah, they went from 770 to 850. I probably bought it close, because usually what I like to do is I like to buy anticipation of a breakout. I could have bought it a little lower, just buying the dip. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, they did go from 770 to 850. So then I did switch to puts at 1016, which is right here. You can see it's rejecting the RCT trend line right here. It dumped, came back up, rejected, dumped, came back up, then it dumped again, and this is where I ended up grabbing it. Right when it broke lower day, I grabbed the 4170 puts at 640, and it went 640 to $9. And that drop, got to anticipate that the breakdowns, the breakouts are going to be fake outs, because most of the time they have been. And this time it was, and I grabbed calls at 1040, which is right here. It's just been chopping around and rejecting the 418.80 area. So when it had these nasty red candles, it popped back up, and it came back up to higher day again. I grabbed it thinking, okay, they're gonna push this just for the heck of it, and they did. So I had the 4,200 calls at 810. And they went from 810 to 1640. Had a nice strong breakout. And I grabbed puts. Yeah, I grabbed puts right at the 420 area. I grabbed, let's see, 12. No, I didn't grab it there. I grabbed it at 1215. This one right here. I should have grabbed it up here. I should have grabbed it right at the 20, but I didn't at the 420. I grabbed it down here. Probably was playing a little more conservative. Yeah, 1215 I was. All these candles right here, they're all bunched up, consolidating. When I broke below the 419 area, that's where I grabbed the puts, the 4,200 puts at 780. And they went from 780 to 1240. And that dump right there. Then I played calls at 324, which is right here, higher day again, thinking, okay, they're going to push it, and they did a little bit. So I grabbed the SPX 4,200 calls at $4.60, and they went from 460 to 1160. So I must have gotten closer to down here. How'd they go so much? From 460 to 1160, they just raged. They probably were at the money. That's the only thing I can think of, is that they were at the money at this time of day. Yeah, they were probably at the money. It's where I got them. That's why they went so fast. It just shows you that when you get at the money, and if it rages a little bit, 50 cents to $1, these things will go 100% very, very fast. So you can definitely make good money. That's why I really like the end of the day plays and expiration days, because you can get at the money. And the risk reward is so much that you get a 460. I mean, you can easily double and triple it if you get the move right. So yeah, that's definitely a good day. The one loss I had on Wednesday was the overnight play again. And on let's see, Thursday, Trade Ideas room, I said Roku puts under 81 and SPY calls over 423.50. Now I took calls on let's see, at 9:43. I took 42.50 calls at 7:10. You can see right here the first 10-minute candle formed, went up to pre-market high. I mean, obviously I rounded up a little bit as soon as it broke above. Lately I've been grabbing it over the first 10-minute candle. If I'm looking at calls, I will wait and grab it over the high of the first 10-minute candle, which is known as ORB. So I did grab the 42.50 calls at 7:10, and they went from 7:10 to $15 in that push, up to 425. Then I ended up playing Roku puts at 9:59. Now I remember this. And this was it right here. Roku had a monster day. I grabbed the puts right here at 9:59. You got this candle, this top tail candle, red candle that's normally a top forming candle. So when you see something like that, usually, quote, usually top is in, but not always. You can't rely on that. So I ended up grabbing it because I was looking at the price between the 86.50-ish area and the 20 EMA is way down here. It's like $3 or $4 away. Whenever you have price this far away from the moving averages, one of two things happen. Either it comes back and retests the 20 EMA, which is the blue line, or it chops and brings the moving average up. But I was pretty confident. Roku has been such a huge loser lately that every time it has a strong push, it ends up selling or dumping or losing most of it, or almost all of it. In this case, I lost all of it. So yeah, I was not afraid to hold this one. Worst thing was I took a loss and I called it too early, which I do sometimes, and I would have held it overnight if not, but it did push more, and I ended up adding more at 10:43, which is I think this candle right here. I didn't grab it in here. I thought about it, but I didn't. But once we got this candle, red candle, starting to form, I added a bunch more. Initially, I got it at $1.80. I added a bunch more at $1, make my new average 140. And they went from 140 to 220 on that push. So they actually, if you held all the way through, some people did in the room, I think they were like around $5 or something like that. But I like seeing plays like this because they work out most of the time. The problem is trying to catch the top or nail the top. I just got it too early right here. And this was actually the perfect area to buy it right here, because you had the green candle, went below this green candle. I mean, the red candle went below this green candle. And even if you didn't get it here, I mean, this would have been a good area too, the 87.50 area, because you've got this little green doji right here. Then you get the continuation right there, which was the ultimate flush on Roku. That's pretty much the nail in the coffin for Roku right there. So that ended up being a good play. I know a lot of people were playing that with me that did really well, and so that was a good play. Roku, it just, this stupid thing can't get out of its own way. I mean, every time it has a huge day. I mean, this is, worst case scenario, this is what I was looking at. Had a huge day, and if it didn't sell off, I mean, the next day it usually does. I mean, Roku is just a huge loser. You can look at the hourly. I'm surprised it's still above 80. I mean, I used to love Roku because this thing used to have monster runs where this thing would squeeze $40 like nothing, and lately this thing can't get out of its own way. It's kind of ridiculous. And the weird thing is that Roku's got the lowest float of all mega large caps. So the squeeze potential could be massive on this if it could get any momentum behind it. But I mean, this looks like huge, but no, Roku can move 40 points very, very easily, 20 to 40 points like it's nothing. So, but yeah, the rat was Roku. Then I played SPX puts at I think I grabbed it right at the 425 level. Let's see, I grabbed it at 1019, which is right, yeah, I grabbed it right at the 425 level. Grabbed the 4250 puts at 730, and they went from 730 to $29 if he held all the way through. A 200% move on that. That was a nice play. Then I grabbed puts again at 1146, which is right here. I get why I grabbed it here. It popped up, rejected the 37 EMA, which is the white line. It came back down to lower day. Right before it broke the lower day, I grabbed the 4220 puts at $8.30, and then went from 830 to 10. Anticipated it was a fake out, took the money and ran, and it was exactly that. Then I switched to calls at 1230, which is right here. As you can see, it didn't break down, it got bought up, and once it got over this area of 422.20, that's where I ended up buying it. I actually probably bought it closer to down here. Let's see, I got the 42.35 calls at 680, and they went from 680 to 770, almost a dollar move in that little pop right there. Then I bought puts at 207. 207. Right here, right at lower day again. This is why I grabbed it right here. I guess I was more confident it would break this time. Which it did. I grabbed the 42.20 puts, this time at 670, and they went from 670 to 870. So we got a $2 move out of this. So it looked like it should have been more than that. 207. I don't know why. It looked like it went down $1.50. I feel like it should have been more than just $2. I don't remember. Maybe I timed it wrong. I don't know. Maybe that was just the $2 right here. 247. Yeah, I think, yeah, I don't know. I'm not quite sure, but anyways, then I grabbed calls at what, 247, right at the 200 EMA. I grabbed the 42.10 calls at 680. It chopped around. It did a fake out, and I added more. I can't see because I blended it. I have to check that. Let's see, where did I add? 253, which is okay. 247. Oh, I bought right up here, right in here. This is 250, yeah, because I bought before this candle formed. So I bought right here. Then I added down here to 200 EMA. Yeah, okay. So for some reason I added right here. Probably got a little early. Yeah, I think I remember that. I was going to buy it at 420. And I bought a little early thinking that sometimes SPY likes to undershoot and overshoot levels. It doesn't go always to the penny. Sometimes it just will go 10, 15 cents close to the area, and then it will make its bounce or rejection. And so I got a little early just in case, left room to add. And I think that this might have been actually in the money or at the money. And then when I got to the 200 EMA, I did add more at 440, making my new average of 520. And then it finally bounced, and they went from, I think I sold into this candle right here, but they did go from what, 520 to 630. So got a little bit of a bounce play out of that, kind of a nail biter, but either way it did work out. So actually no losses that day. And Friday, did I take an overnight play? No, I didn't. Let's see. I took calls. Let's see what the trade ideas room said. SPY puts end at 421. Tesla calls over 871. Okay, so I took calls over 940. You get the green candle right here, and I was kind of looking at it both directions. It could have gone either way, and so I was ready for it no matter where. I think I actually had calls and puts loaded, if I remember correctly, and I was ready to take it underneath 421.50 or over the 422.30 area, and that's what I ended up doing. So I took the 42.50 calls at 530. And they went from 530 to 810 in that little push. It was a fake out. Then I took puts at 949, which is right here. I'm not quite sure what this candle was. I think this was consumer sentiment. Yeah, I took puts. I took 42.10 puts at 650. And the red candles have been violent. So yeah, I bought at 650. I bought closer to down here. I remember when I was watching that it was going green, it was coming back, it was going back and forth around VWAP and 20 EMA. So then the news dropped, and they went from 650 to 860 on that drop. So that ended up working out well. Consumer sentiment paid off in that retrospect. So actually no, I bought it 959. I bought it at 949, not 959, 949. I bought it right in here. Okay, I bought it before this candle closed. So I bought it up here. Maybe I bought it right right up here. I think I solely bought it for the consumer sentiment. I don't think there was any rhyme or reason why I bought it up here on this pop. In fact, I think I remember saying this particular time that I was going to short the pop. Yeah. So yeah, I think I grabbed this all solely for the consumer sentiment. I'm not quite sure where I bought it. I can go down to the 1 minute and see exactly where I got it. What was it? 949. Okay, this is the thing right there. 949. Right here's where I bought it. Yeah, I bought it closer to down here. So yeah, then it popped up because I remember watching it go up. Then boom, it got slammed. So yeah, that's what ended up happening. So 650 to 860 on that drop. That was a huge, huge play too. So huge drop. Go back to 10 minute and look at that. But anyways, on Friday. Then I grabbed calls at 10:13, which is right here. As you can see, nasty red candle. Market didn't care, bought it up when it came back over these candles right here, 42.60. That's where I grabbed them. I grabbed the 42.45 calls at 580, and they went from 580 to 660. It just popped up, then it got shut down again. This thing was just very, it just did not know where it wanted to go, and so I grabbed puts again at let's see, 10:35, which is right here. As you can see, it popped up, faked out. Then it popped back up. Consumer sentiment came in, got dumped, got bought up. They decided to push it, bought calls, and it dropped again. I bought puts here. It was just a roller coaster of trading this right here. So I bought the 42.20 puts at 10:35, which is right here. And they went from 550 to 770 on that little dump right there. Then I decided, I think this is where I decided to buy puts and play against the grain, because I bought them at 10:55, which is right here. This started at 11. Yeah, I bought it right in here on this pop. I bought puts on this pop. Then I decided to average down at 11.06, which is this pop, and I broke high a day. Yeah, I added more because I bought it at 530, added more 360, making my average 405. I don't remember how many I had. And they went from what, 405, I think I barely got out, 440. As soon as I was able to get out, because this wick right here, I literally bought up here, and I was able to dump on this wick. I'm glad that I did do that. So, I'm just going to pause the video for a second. Okay, I had to pause the video. My camera went off at my front door. I had to make sure that nobody was at my front door. Gotta love technology. Camera tells me everything, and someone even comes on my property. But anyways, yeah, it got, I was able to get out by the skin of my teeth on that. So then I switched to, I just did not think, I kept trying to guess the top. I was not expecting this kind of a move. I mean, this was just, I think this was just a gamma squeeze, because every time we got to a major level, it just squeezed more. I think that when people start piling in heavy to one side at certain levels, that sometimes it has a reverse effect, that it does not drop, that they get squeezed out more. And that's what ended up happening, I think, in my opinion, the whole day. That I'll say, because I bought puts at 1141, which was right here. This is where I was able to escape. It popped back up. The candle started to get smaller and smaller. Started to look like a top tail right here. It kind of get a rounded edge. And right when it broke below this 423.40 area, I grabbed the 42.40 puts at 650. And they went from 650 to $7. Barely anything, a 50-cent move. Then it popped again. And this time I thought for sure this was going to be the top. And I bought puts again at 117, which was right 117 right here. Not quite sure why I grabbed it there. I grabbed it right here. Why did I grab it there? Let's see. I might have to go to a daily or 4 hour maybe. No, 4 hour I don't have set far enough apart. I'll go to a daily. Why did I grab it there? What was there? Let's see. What was it? 120, 117. So it was the 424, 50 area. Yeah, I could see right here. Get resistance. I mean, obviously the resistance is higher up to 425, but down here there's a little bit of resistance right here in the 420, 450. I probably bought early. I'm not quite 100% sure. I probably bought a tad bit early at the 425 level. Yeah, because that's exactly what I did. I bought early. I bought early anticipating we were going to break down. And we didn't. I added more at 151, which is right here at the 425 level. I bought at 630, added more at 410, and making my new average at 520. I thought for sure. That's why I ended up buying here. I bought anticipation that this was such a strong move that if I got in a little early, give myself room to average down, that it would probably end up being a big play, and it was not. I ended up taking a loss right there. So yeah, I bought here, averaged down at really at exactly 425, thinking, okay, I get a good average. I'm going to have a nice play. I almost think they went green. I almost think they went over 520. Now I'll have to see if I actually sold any. Let's see. No. No, I didn't. I didn't sell, yeah. But yeah, yeah, that ended up being a loss. But the reasoning behind it, I still would have done the same thing. This level should have held, especially after $4 run, and after we've been running since 380. We've had such a monster rally that I thought for sure that we were going to. This is such a huge area. I mean, look at it on the daily. It just went through it like it was nothing. I mean, nothing short of a gamma squeeze in my opinion. But anyways, it ripped right through it. Then I ended up buying puts at 314, which is right here at the 426 area. Not quite sure why I bought it there. I think I bought it there because when we had this little ascending triangle right here and it broke through, we had these two massive green candles, exaggerated candles after this strong move that I just said the heck with it. I went in, I grabbed the 4280 puts at $9, and they went from $9 to $11.50. So yeah, so I was like, okay. Then I ended up taking an overnight play, which I was gonna hold over the weekend, but I didn't. I grabbed a weekend lotto. I grabbed 4,300 calls for Monday's expiration. I grabbed them at 352, right here, right in here. I was like, okay, they're going to keep pushing this thing. We're getting so close to 430, 4,300 on ES and SPX. They're going to push it. They're going to gap it up with something over the weekend. So I just said, okay, I'm just going to YOLO it. So yeah, that's exactly what I did. I just YOLO'd it. I just grabbed it and say, okay, we're going to get a ridiculous gap up over the weekend. They're going to push it to 4,300. So I grabbed the 4,300 calls at 570, and I ended up getting rid of them and selling them. So they ended up going from what, 570 to 760. So to me, almost a $2 profit. That'd be kind of stupid not to take it. And I actually had a little bit of, I had like 5 or 6 contracts. I don't remember how many I had. I went in a little bigger than I normally would for over the overnight lotto, but I mean, they got them in fairly cheap, so I don't really care. But I'm glad I took it though. Now, if it ends up gapping up huge, I'm probably going to kick myself, but it is what it is. It's part of trading. No regrets. I don't have any regrets when it comes to trading. So if I miss it, I miss it. If I don't, I don't. I don't really care. I look at it like, there's always another opportunity. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. So that's going to do it for the recap. This was probably a long video. And with that said, I hope to see you in the room, and thank you for watching.